Rehabilitation work is ongoing on the Grand Fork Main Road. Former Deputy Speaker of the House of Assembly laid to rest, and Morne Rachette Resource Centre officially opened. Thank you for joining us for another edition of National Focus. I'm Colette Ambo.
And I'm Mervin. Stay with us for the details of the headline stories and others after this.
A lot of bathtubs are blamed for bruises. Some staircases are accused of being responsible for broken bones. Doors are occasionally viewed suspiciously as causing lesions. A high percentage of tables are accused of producing bleeding or trauma. Violence against women is a crime, and it's everyone's responsibility. It's inexcusable. If you're a victim or witness of physical or psychological violence or abuse, seek help and denounce the perpetrator.
Thanks for staying with us. Rehabilitation work is ongoing on the Grand Fork Main Road. GIS News visited the project site last week and spoke with contractor Paul John Hope.
The project entails drainage, some rigid pavement, and a retaining wall, which is a real important. The retaining wall is a real important aspect of the project because of the narrowness of the corner and the location.
Parliamentary representative for the Grand Fork constituency, Honorable Ivor Stevenson, explained to GIS News that the roads were in a deplorable condition and the rehabilitation works was therefore necessary.
It was indeed a very dilapidated state, a very deplorable state. And I myself, I can tell you, I travel on the road very regularly, and I could feel it on the road. I mean, my vehicle itself would be telling me straight, stop, Parliament, you have to do something. So much less for the cries of the people of Grand Fork, those who live there on a daily basis and have to be moving in the village, to and through the village on a daily basis. We're talking about right now, even now as school has reopened, and then we have a number of bus drivers, school children traversing the road. That in itself was not really making it as safe as possible for the persons maneuvering the road. So I'm very happy. We have been seeing these improvements.
The $450,000 project is expected to create employment for over 20 young men from the community.
We started with a crew of about 5 guys and 2 operators, and then the truck drivers. But we're hoping to have, like on the ground, moving the concrete and doing carpentry works or the trade works, at least 25, a crew of 25.
The Grand Fork MP is impressed with the progress of work done thus far on the project.
The progress is indeed, to me, very, very satisfactory. Within the short time that the contract has been signed and the quantity of work that has been done thus far, I'm very, very much satisfied.
In more news, residents of Morne Rachette turned out in large numbers last Friday for the official opening of the community's resource centre. The facility was the brainchild of members of the Morne Rachette Development Committee. Chairperson of the Kulibistri Morne Rachette Village Council, Erickson Robinson, explained that the centre will be a very important facility in the community.
We can accept that it will become the center of our social and our growth development of this community. One of the major cries that we often hear in this community is we do not have a meeting area. We can no longer grumble about this because this evening we can say that we have a center.
Over $320,000 was raised to construct the facility, including $43,000 from the community and $270,000 from government. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt dismissed suggestions by the opposition that government is doing nothing in the Salisbury constituency.
Oftentimes I hear people criticize the government by saying that we have not done anything for the Salisbury constituency. And that cannot be true at all. We can say that we need more things done, but we cannot say nothing has been done by this government in this constituency. Your students continue to enjoy free bus fare to the schools. Your children are picked up in the morning and brought back home safely. We continue to provide books to the many students who need assistance with books and uniforms. We have provided in excess of $270,000 for the construction of this facility.
At last Friday's ceremony, the Dominica leader committed a further $30,000 towards the tiling of the facility and $70,000 towards the rehabilitation of the road leading to the center.
The nation's Minister for Human Resource Development has described the National Employment Program as a real action versus mere political talk.
I believe that every one of us have heard of the opposition crying down and actually bashing this program. Speaking of creating 5,000 jobs in 3 years. But of course we know that is just talk, because the cheapest thing that you can find in life is talk. In fact, from our analysis of the situation, to create 5,000 jobs in a matter of 3 years would cost us here in Dominica no less than 84 million EC dollars. So that is just inconceivable. It is daydreaming. But what we have done through this initiative is over the past few months, we have employed in excess of 800 Dominicans, single-parent mothers and young people.
Honorable Peter Saint-Jean was speaking in Dallas last Thursday, where 57 contracts were signed with young residents for the community employment component of the NEP. They will be engaged in farming, cleanup, and beautification, or placed at small businesses in the area with remuneration paid by the government of Dominica. An apprenticeship program was also launched in the area the previous Friday, September 5th.
The ministry is also engaged in an apprenticeship program in the area. We launched this program on Friday of last week, and this program started on Monday. In a number of areas within the community, we have individuals who are doing training in housekeeping at Rosalie Bay. We are having a bartending training at Mountain View in Pocasset. We are having a culinary arts training taking place at the Morne Resource Centre, also in Pocasset, and wait staff for food and beverage service taking place at the Atkinson Resource Centre. There are a number of individuals from your communities, Dailies, Laplain, Poetica, who are also part of this program. So the ministry is working for you in the southeast and in the east, and we are very pleased again, as I said earlier, to partner with you.
In addition, 50 other young people of the Laplain constituency are employed through the NEP. The National Employment Program has several components designed to meet the needs of the unemployed, including the community employment, apprenticeship, graduate internship, adult to work, and the education mentorship component. The education mentorship program, based on the ministry's report, is working.
We engaged young people within the communities to provide assistance after school care and support in a number of communities and schools around the island. I know even in your area there are individuals in Laplain and in Dailies providing support after school, and even in the classrooms to some of the primary and secondary schools in the communities. And last year we ran a pilot program with about 54 mentors. This year we've expanded the program to new schools, and we now have 75 mentors who are engaged on the program. And I'm very happy to say that some of our mentors from last year have received full-time employment in the Ministry of Education, and they are now full-time teachers, so our program is working.
The President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, His Excellency Charles Savre, and Mrs. Savre, government officials, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Friends and family gathered at the Our Lady of Fatima Catholic Church in Newtown last Saturday to pay their last respects to a former senator and the Deputy Speaker of the House of Assembly, Swanston Carbon. The late Carbon, a stalwart of the Dominica Freedom Party, was afforded a state funeral. Main celebrant Father Clement offered support to Carbon's family on behalf of all who came to say goodbye.
Please know that we feel the loss as you feel. And we as Christians, as people of faith, come together to let the Lord know how we feel. And we are not at all happy with what has happened in the past few weeks.
Father Clement described Carbon as a community man and says he will be missed by all he came into contact with.
Someone in Wall House said, "We will all miss him. He was so dear to us. We will miss his smile. We will miss his actions. We will miss his presence from today forward." And as we were sharing on the gospel and on the readings, one of the lay associates mentioned, the home of Mr. Swanston was the village council home. It was in his home we had all our meetings. It was in his home that we came together when we had no other place to go.
Carbon passed away on August 31st at age 69. He was laid to rest at the Roseville Public Cemetery.
Chairman of the Dalis Carib La Wash Victoria Village Council, 25-year-old Delwyn James, has issued a call for young people, especially of his area, to develop themselves. James says the myriad of opportunities made available by the Labour Party government make it easy for youth to reach their full potential.
Under my stewardship as chair of this council, we shall maximize on the opportunities afforded by our government, more specifically the National Employment Program, by getting as many of our young unemployed youth engaged in various sectors to acquire much needed knowledge and skill through work experience. We support such initiatives as they demonstrate a high level of accountability on the part of the government, given the continued negative economic effects of the lingering global economic downturn. It is said that the wise men came from the east. Therefore, wise young people embrace the opportunity, as opportunities lost can never be regained. Young people of Dalis, do not let anyone dissuade you from your personal development, as the skills you acquire will remain with you and can only be lost if you so desire.
He also spoke as an advocate for youth empowerment.
I am a strong advocate for youth development, and so, according to Wikipedia, youth empowerment is an attitudinal, structural, and cultural process whereby young people gain the opportunity, the authority, and agency to make decisions to implement change in their own lives and the lives of other people, including youth and adults.
James was sworn in as chairman of the council on Thursday, September 11th.
Last Friday, 360 medical students received the scrolls and were donned with the esteemed white coats to begin clinical studies at the Ross University School of Medicine. The new intake of students originate from 42 unique countries around the world, with ages ranging from 20 to 43. Honorable Minister for Tourism and MP for the Portsmouth constituency, Honorable Ian Douglas, welcomed the school's newest students.
Let me welcome you in a very special way to this amazing island. I believe that you have made the right choice to come to study and to pursue your professional career in Dominica. Of course, you're away from home, so we have done all that is possible to make sure that your sojourn with us is as comfortable as possible so that you can be as productive as you possibly can and you can achieve all the success in the world. This is an amazing association that have existed Since 1978, Ross University and the Commonwealth of Dominica have made a success of this partnership. I am very privileged. It's a pleasure for me to always be here. I try as much as possible to be at every white coat ceremony to welcome you because you are important to us. You contribute to the socio-economic development of, first of all, Portsmouth, my hometown, which I'm very proud of, but ultimately to the development of Dominica.
Also present at the ceremony were Dominica's head of state, His Excellency Charles Savre and Mrs. Savre, and the Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. The university's executive dean and the chancellor, Dr. Joseph Flaherty, expressed sincere gratitude to Dominica's government for support throughout the years. Dr. Joseph also emphasized the need for hard work and forging of supportive friendships.
Medical school is very different. It is really concentrated hard work. There's no other way around it. You can't, play records. You can't somehow assimilate. You can't talk to a friend while you're doing Facebook and understand how it works. You got to study. You're also going to need all your friends tremendously. You're going to need faculty. You've got to have people you can count on, people that will do 2 or 3 things. They'll walk you off the cliff because you'll get there a few times. They will kind of reassure you you have accomplished a few things in your life. You probably can do this. They'll kind of show you when you're going also too far in one area in terms of what you have to learn and what you have to study. And most of all, they'll reassure you of your worth and your value because you forget that. You're in a permanent state of transition in medical school. You're not a college graduate anymore. You're not a doctor yet.
Keynote speaker and past RUSM honor graduate Dr. Jennifer Hahn shared a heartfelt speech about her journey to the Ross University School of Medicine and urged students to keep in mind the old adage, remember where you came from to know where you're going.
I was getting waitlisted to medical school and I wasn't sure why I wasn't getting accepted. I started to wonder whether being a doctor was my calling at all. There was a moment of self-doubt. And then I heard about Ross, applied, got accepted, and I was elated. I still remember receiving that message on my answer machine, collapsing to my knees, crying in relief and sheer joy. I was so excited to go to medical school, I would have parachuted out of that plane if that was what was required for me to attend Ross. So I invite you all tonight, take time, reflect, and write the story of how your journey as an aspiring physician began. As you move forward in your career, you'll need to remember how far you have come. The road ahead is long, and sometimes it seems like there is no end to it. But you have to be able to look back and see the road you have traveled to appreciate where you're heading.
With more than 11,000 MD graduates since its establishment in 1978, the Ross University School of Medicine has placed more graduates in U.S. residency slots than any other medical school in the world. And that's the English news. Coming up next, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank prepares for the public for the upcoming Financial Month observance with a few tips.
DOWASCO recognizes that clean water is vital to healthy living. Therefore, it spares no effort in providing a clean, safe, and reliable system. Help keep our rivers safe and clean. Do not cut trees along the river banks and do not pollute with garbage, human or animal feces, and chemicals. Think water, think life.
Exercise discipline when using credit cards. If not carefully used, they can put you in a bind financially by keeping you tied to payments for items long after being used up, broken, or discarded.
Before using your credit card, ensure that you can pay off the balance at the statement due date. Otherwise, don't buy. Remember, the most expensive form of debt could be credit card debt, since it usually carries very high interest rates.
And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm.
Like us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Mervin Matthew.
And I'm Colette Ambo. Thanks for watching and join us again next time on National Focus.